This says, I'll explain it a bit for people who might not have done it before. They say that usually tiger sharks feed on smaller sharks. So there is a chain. Tiger sharks feed smaller sharks, right? But other than the chain is not complete here. So author says, but they usually feed on smaller sharks, but then sometimes they've started attacking tourists because a shark is a carnivore animal, right? So it's attacking a tourist. Now, because of which, what is happening at Tenerife beaches, right? This has started hurting Tenerife's tourism industry. But then there is extra information coming. Tourism industry is second industry compared to the fishing industry. That's what the question says. Nishita, listen to my explanation and then find the answer, right? You have to try a little more, one more time. Don't worry, you will get the answer, right? Fanindra, you're perfectly all right. Yeah. This says tiger sharks feed on small sharks. That is what they praise. But then they've now started attacking tourists also. Tourists that come to the beaches at Tenerife Island. Now, this has started affecting this island's tourism industry. And this tourism industry is second to fishing industry. So the topmost industry, the number one industry for Tenerife is going to be fisheries, and number two is going to be tourism. Now, because of the fact that tiger sharks that feed on small sharks, they have started attacking tourists. Tourism industry is getting affected, which means industry number two is getting affected. Now, look into the actual argument. It says, in order to help the economy. So whatever the mayor is going to suggest here is not to help just tourism industry, but to help overall economy. So in order to help the economy, therefore, the mayor has proposed to kill any of the tiger sharks within a mile of the beaches. So they kill any of the tiger sharks that are visible within a mile of the beaches. By doing this, what is he going to achieve? He wants to help the economy. But here, directly what he's going to achieve is help the tourism industry. Now, the question is, by doing this, this is not going to achieve the objective. It is not going to achieve the objective of helping the economy. So you can look for this. Clearly says that this is an attempt, this is a proposal that might help tourism industry, but might not help overall economy. Which answer says that this, although this might affect, this might positively impact tourism, because if we kill all the sharks within a mile of the beaches, tourists are going to be safe, correct? So this is going to help tourism industry, but tourism industry is second only to fisheries. So is it going to help overall economy? No. So one answer that is correct is D. And let me check how many other people have come up with this. Krishnan, you're perfectly all right. Rahul, perfectly all right. Anybody who's given D is perfectly all right. Answer why? Tiger sharks feed on small sharks. So if you kill the tiger sharks, small sharks are going to grow in number. If you kill the predator, you're talking about the food chain. So if you kill the bigger sharks, number of smaller sharks will go up. Now, if the number of smaller sharks goes up, they survive on even smaller fish. So they will eat up all those fish. Now, the third thing, tiger sharks feed on smaller sharks. Smaller sharks feed on smaller fish. And it is the smaller fish that are commercially important to the island's fisheries. And fisheries is number one. So if you kill tiger sharks, number of smaller sharks will go up. Then they will eat up the smaller fish. So if they eat up the smaller fish, which is important to the fisheries, and that is the island's economy. So island's economy is going to be in danger. So which answer says that? D. So A leads to B, B leads to D. It is very similar to, I gave the example of Sariska in the class. In Sariska Tiger Sanctuary, this actually happened that suddenly one day all the tigers disappeared because of poaching and other reasons. They disappeared. Now, when all the tigers died in Sariska, the next in line animals, their numbers increased. That is deer population and, sheep, wild sheep and wild boar population just went up. When their population increased, there was a loss to the jungle. They ended up eating all the greenery of the jungle, entire greenery of the jungle. So the jungle started drying up. It was turning into a desert. So that when the authorities got to know of it, they realized that in the food chain, the first chain was missing. So what they did, they got some tigers from other places, Sariska and Ranthambore in Rajasthan, and they put them into Sariska. And within 6 months, everything came back to being normal. So the moment there were tigers and lions introduced into Sariska, they checked the deer population in control. So when the deer population was in control, it maintained the greenery like it was before. So there is a food chain. So the same thing is happening over here. A is affecting B, B is affecting C, and we're looking at C. So if you literally make a diagram, a tiger sharks, small sharks, and even smaller sharks, and the even smaller sharks are important for the overall economy of the island. So if you see what is affecting what, you will get the answer. Plants in the urban greenhouse grew more slowly. Plants in the urban greenhouse more slowly than those in the rural greenhouse. So there are two types of greenhouses. One in the urban setting, the other in the rural setting. The paragraph tells you that in the urban setting, there are certain pollutions, sulfur dioxide, more sulfur dioxide than in rural air. So plants in general grow more slowly in urban areas as compared to rural areas. So there was an experiment conducted to see this, and how much of the difference in growth is due to sulfur dioxide classes in an urban and grew plants in greenhouses. They grew plants in greenhouses at the school and filtered the greenhouse air to eliminate sulfur dioxide. So everything was controlled. This paragraph is actually telling you that there is a reason in urban areas because of which plants grow more slowly. But then, in order to see the difference, whether, the difference in growth due to sulfur dioxide, they created urban and rural schools. They created separate greenhouses. And what they did was, to eliminate sulfur dioxide, they filtered it from there, right? They filtered it from there to eliminate sulfur dioxide. Wait a minute. Difference filter the greenhouse air to eliminate sulfur dioxide, which means the actual reason which is mentioned was eliminated. It was controlled. Dono mein everything was going to be the same in both the cases, the urban greenhouse and the rural greenhouse. But plants, despite doing all this, plants in the urban greenhouse grew more slowly than those in the rural greenhouse. So there has to be a common sense reason. Everything is the same. There are two greenhouses set up in one in the urban setting and in the rural setting. And actual reason because of the plants grow slowly was eliminated. That is sulfur dioxide. That is going to be the same in both, right? So now if there is a difference comes, we cannot say that this is due to sulfur dioxide. This has to be due, which means if still, because the conclusion says, despite doing all this, the plants in the urban setting still grew more slowly, at a much slower pace, which means there's no longer sulfur dioxide. There has to be some other reason. So which answer says that in the urban setting, there are other reasons because of which plants are going to slow. D talks about. It says heavy vehicular traffic, which is found in cities, constantly deposits grime on greenhouse windows. So what happens if there is a layer of grime on the greenhouse windows? It reduces the amount of light that reaches the plant inside. So despite the fact that everything else is the same in those, because of the urban atmosphere, because of certain situations in urban atmosphere, there's something that is happening to the walls of the greenhouse. So what is that doing? This layer of grime is not letting the sunlight reach those plants. So that is why, despite doing everything else, the plants are still growing more slowly. So that is 100% common sense. Perfect answer, Naman. All of you now have given me the correct answer, D. Right? So perfect answer. Naman, Shivangi, Sneha, all of you are correct. All the regular ones who give me correct answers, all of you guys have given me the correct answer. So it's a habit. Finding the correct answer is a habit. Now, why am I talking this habit? Let me talk a little bit about on diversion also. Mumbai Indians have lost 7 matches in IPL, 7 consecutive matches, right? And this happened. So what were they saying? So one of their coaches said, winning is a habit and losing is also a habit. So they're scared of defeats. Why are they? Are they scared of losing? No, they say this has become a habit now on part of the Mumbai Indians in IPL. So winning is a habit, losing is a habit too. So if you get into the habit of finding the correct answers, that's a habit. So I really don't mind you get fewer answers, but get into the habit of finding the right answer, especially in these cases. So how do we get into the habit of finding the right answer? Get to the question and get to the argument.